Hello again, everybody. This is Chris Powell here with you all and going to break down another exciting game that happened last night in Pittsburgh. The Penguins were hosting the Minnesota Wild, so a lot of good things happening before the game. It was a Pittsburgh night in Pittsburgh, as they called it, part of their theme, but that's pretty much every night in Pittsburgh. It's always a Pittsburgh night, so good feeling around the city, and more good news to add to it. Sidney Crosby did return last night, as I mentioned before. Expected to see him sometime this week, and sure enough, he returned last night. So it was a good night last night in Pittsburgh. Now, to get to the game, in case you guys did not get a chance to see it, I have you covered with all the stats, so let's get right to it. The Pittsburgh Penguins got off on a hot start with the energy from their crowd and from their team. The Pittsburgh Penguins were able to capitalize on an early goal by Evgeny Malkin in the first period at 7:57 of the first period. So he did get a power play goal, I should add, and it was his 14th of the year. So as Malkin said, when Sid was out, he needs to be fire, and he's been showing that as of late. Ever since Sid has been out, I mean, he's been all over the place, scoring goals, getting assists, hitting people, and just supporting his teammates and supporting the young guys and try to help them become better players. So that's what you've been seeing from Evgeny Malkin if you've been watching, and he's been on a tear. So hopefully he can keep it going. He had a multi-point game last night, so it was good to see that. And late in the first period, just as it was about to end, Jared McCann decided that his team needed some more goals, so he decided to put one in. 17:57 into the first period, so as I said, it was almost over, but he decided to get another insurance goal and make it a 2-0 game for Pittsburgh as it came down to this first period, and that first period was 2-0 at the very end. Now to get to the second period, the Pittsburgh Penguins did start off fast again. Sidney Crosby started off with another great rush. It was a 3-on-2. Didn't capitalize, but it was a great chance, and he looked awesome last night. He's 100% healthy now, so it's great to see him back on the ice again. And then 14:04 into the second period, Brian Rust did get a goal last night on an amazing pass from Evgeny Malkin. If you saw that pass last night, he did it behind the back, and it was through the legs of the defender. I have no idea how he saw Rust coming from behind him, but Rust was wide open all by himself, and he was able to fire it home and gave the Penguins a 3-0 lead. And then shortly after that, Zach Parise for Minnesota was able to capitalize for Minnesota. Minnesota looked a little bit, I'd say, dysfunctional last night. They have been struggling. They lost 5 of 6 coming into the game last night. They did not look well, but Zach Parise was able to get a goal for Minnesota to give his team a little bit of a push there. So it was 4-1. And then after that, Marcus Foligno, he was able to get a goal at the beginning of the third period. 2 minutes and 15 seconds in, he was able to score and give his team 4-2. They were still down 4-2, but he was able to push them closer to get them to victory. But the Penguins said, "No way, we're not losing this game." Sidney Crosby he also had a multi-point game last night. He had 1 goal and 3 assists, and his goal came 7 minutes and 41 seconds into the third period with his 6th of the season. So as I said, Sid was 100% healthy, and with the energy of the crowd, I'm sure that gave him a little bit of fire, and he looked awesome last night. Kind of what he looked like back in 2011 when he was out for 319 days. Gosh, I don't even want to think about that because that was terrible. But he did come back last night and have another strong performance. As I said, it was 7:41 into the third period. He was able to get a goal and give his team a 5-2 lead. And then shortly after that, just 39 seconds later, Dominic Simone was able to get his 5th of the year in the third period at 8:20. Dominic Simone, for some reason, he always looks good when he's playing with Sid. Before it was he struggled a little bit, but the more he learns from Sid, because Sid's the best player in the league, he's learning more every day, and he's getting better every day with his puck work, his skill work, and he's a great stick handler as well, so that always helps when you're playing with Sid to be able to capitalize on some goals. And then late in the third period, Alex Galchenyuk was able to get a goal with his 5th of the year at 16:57 in the third period. So it was late. The game was pretty much over by then. Towards the very end of the game, there was about 10.5 seconds left in the third period. Zach Parise got another goal to make it 5-3 or 7-3, excuse me. So that's pretty much how that game went down last night. And as I said, the crowd was buzzing when Sid came out for warm-ups and when he came out for the national anthem and the start of the puck drop. I mean, we're all happy to have him back. He's a huge boost for us, obviously, because he's our captain and he's our best player. And not to mention Tristan Jarry with another outstanding performance last night. Gave up 3 goals, but that's okay. Still came away with the victory. The guys in front of him played outstanding. So the Penguins did come up with a great win last night, a great start for Sidney Crosby on his return. And the Penguins were able to walk out of Pittsburgh last night against Minnesota with your final score of 7-3 Pittsburgh. In case you guys don't already know, the next game will be Thursday against Boston. And if you remember from last game, Pittsburgh was fighting hard that last time they played Boston a couple months ago. It was another close game. The Penguins were fighting, and they were able to tie the game up with their resilience and their group that they have. But late in the third period, Brad Marchand was able to get a late third period goal to give Boston the victory. So hopefully the Penguins will remember that, and they will use that as fuel, so they can use that as fuel as motivation, so they can go out on Thursday night and get another good performance. So they will be seeing some of their rivals here coming up, so it should be exciting. So the next game, as I said, will be Thursday at 7 o'clock in Boston on the AT&T Sports Network. So hope you guys will be able to see that game, sit back and relax and enjoy the game, and I will see you all next video. Thank you, guys.